After almost 20 years together, Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban's love story has ended. Keith finally said things about Nicole that surprised everyone. For many years, they looked so happy together. They smiled at events, gave nice interviews, and seemed like the perfect couple. But when their marriage ended, people learned things that made them wonder if everything was really okay all along. Nicole and Keith's love story started with excitement and made millions of people believe in true love. But slowly, problems started to show. Keith started acting different in his interviews, and that told people more than his words ever did. So what really happened? Was it because they were apart too much, or was it something else? Keep reading to find out. And if you like stories like this, please like and subscribe. Nicole's life before Keith. Nicole Kidman was born in Hawaii in 1967. Her parents were from Australia. Her dad was a smart scientist, and her mom helped people. Nicole grew up in a home where being creative and kind was important. When Nicole was just 3 years old, she loved to dance and act. But as a kid, she was actually very shy. She even had trouble speaking smoothly sometimes. Acting helped her feel brave and become different characters. Nicole got her first big acting jobs in Australia when she was a teenager. Then Hollywood noticed her. By 1990, she became famous around the world. She won awards and became a big star, not just because she was pretty, but because she was really good at acting. But her personal life was different from what people saw. Meeting Keith Urban. After Nicole's marriage to Tom Cruise ended in the early 2000s, she wondered if she would find love again. Then, in 2005, she met Keith Urban at a big event in Los Angeles. They seemed very different. Nicole was a famous movie star, and Keith was a country music singer. But Nicole liked him right away. The funny part? Keith didn't call her for 4 whole months. Nicole thought he didn't like her back. When Keith finally called, everything changed. On Nicole's 38th birthday, Keith showed up at her door at 5 in the morning with beautiful flowers. Nicole knew he was the one. Their romance grew fast. Just 1 year later, in June 2006, they got married in Sydney. It was a beautiful wedding with candles and music. Everyone thought it was the start of a perfect love story. But challenges were waiting just around the corner. The wedding and honeymoon. Nicole and Keith's wedding was amazing. It happened in Sydney at a beautiful place with candles and soft music. Nicole's kids from her first marriage were there too. After the wedding, they went to a tropical island for their honeymoon. They stayed at fancy places and walked on private beaches. Pictures of them together made everyone think they were the perfect couple. Nicole said Keith was the love of her life. Keith said he was so lucky to have her. But just 4 months after the wedding, Nicole discovered Keith was having serious problems. Instead of giving up, Nicole helped him get treatment. Keith later said her bravery might have saved his life. The world saw a perfect wedding, but behind closed doors, they were already facing big challenges. Getting help. Just 4 months after getting married, Nicole learned that Keith was struggling with alcohol and drugs. She couldn't ignore it. Nicole staged an intervention to help Keith. This was hard, but showed how much she loved him. Keith said he felt very blessed that Nicole cared enough to help him. Keith went to rehab for 3 months. Nicole visited him and made sure he knew their marriage was worth fighting for. When he came out, he was healthier and ready to work on their relationship. That same year, Keith won a big music award. Their love story could have ended, but they proved they could get through hard times together. But marriage isn't just about getting through one problem. There are always more challenges. Growing their family. After the tough times, Nicole and Keith had happy news. In January 2008, they said they were going to have a baby. Everyone was excited for them. In July 2008, their daughter Sunday Rose was born in Nashville. Nicole and Keith were so happy. Keith was an amazing partner. Nicole said he once flew halfway around the world just to be at a doctor's appointment with her, then flew right back for a concert. 2 years later, in December 2010, their second daughter, Faith Margaret, was born. She was born through a surrogate, another woman who carried the baby for them. Nicole and Keith were thankful and said their family was truly blessed. In public, Nicole and Keith looked happier than ever. Being parents made them even closer. To everyone watching, their marriage looked strong. But even happy families can have problems that nobody sees. Sad times and support. In September 2014, Nicole's dad died suddenly from an accident. Losing a parent is one of the hardest things ever. Nicole was heartbroken. Keith was there for Nicole when she needed him most. At the funeral, he sang "Amazing Grace," which made everyone cry. This showed that their marriage wasn't just about fancy events, it was about being there for each other. Nicole later said they always kissed hello and goodbye every day. These small things kept them close. For years, they did this and seemed unbreakable. Fans thought they could face anything together. But as time went on, small problems started getting bigger, even though people couldn't see them. Smiling in public versus problems at home. From the outside, Nicole and Keith still looked perfect. They went to events together, were on magazine covers, and in April 2024, Nicole even called Keith her deep, deep love. They appeared at big awards shows and sports events. To fans, they seemed as happy as ever. But people close to them started saying they were spending more time apart. Reports said Keith had gotten his own place to live. While Nicole and Keith didn't talk about these rumors, more and more people started wondering. Their social media posts looked perfect, maybe too perfect. The big smiles at events started to feel fake to people watching closely. Soon, the whispers about them splitting up became headlines that shocked everyone. Signs they were splitting up. By 2025, Nicole and Keith's marriage was clearly having problems. They appeared together less, and Keith had quietly moved into his own place. People close to them said Nicole was shocked and hurt. She had worked so hard to keep their marriage strong. In an interview just weeks before they officially split, Nicole said, "You think you know where your life is going, and then it's not going that way." Many fans thought she was hinting that their marriage was ending. What made it confusing was that just months before, Nicole posted a happy anniversary message on Instagram with Keith's picture. But by September 2025, the rumors became real. Nicole filed for divorce in Nashville on September 30. After 19 years of marriage, the fairytale was over. Keith's awkward interviews. In the months before the separation, Keith started acting strange in interviews. For years, he loved talking about Nicole, but by summer 2025, that changed. On an Australian radio show, when asked if fate brought him and Nicole together, Keith said, "I have no idea." He looked uncomfortable and awkward. This was very different from how he used to talk about their love story. In another interview with Ryan Seacrest, when asked how they balance their busy lives, Keith just said, "It's a job." He didn't sound warm or excited like he used to. Fans noticed these interviews and started debating online. Some said Keith was just being private. Others said his discomfort showed their marriage was ending. Looking back, Keith's silence and awkwardness were his way of admitting the marriage was over, even though he never said it directly. The breakup. On September 30, 2025, Nicole filed for divorce from Keith in Nashville. The reason given was irreconcilable differences, which means they couldn't solve their problems. For fans, this was shocking. They had been together for almost 20 years, but people who watched closely saw the signs for months. Reports said Nicole tried hard to save their marriage and felt hurt by how fast it fell apart. They had been living separately for a while, and Keith had his own place. Neither Nicole nor Keith made public statements, so fans could only guess what went wrong. Was it their busy careers, being apart too much, or just growing apart over time? For millions of people who loved their story, this wasn't just another celebrity breakup. It felt like proof that even perfect-looking love stories can end. What Keith finally admitted. After the divorce news, people looked back at Keith's interviews. While he never made a big confession, his words and silences told the story. Keith stopped talking warmly about Nicole. When asked about their life together, he gave short answers. His phrase, "life is in session," suggested he had already moved on. People close to them said Keith's silence wasn't an accident. For someone who once called Nicole the greatest love of his life, the change was huge. Keith's silence was actually his loudest statement. By not talking about Nicole with love anymore, he was admitting their marriage had been ending for a long time. At the end, after almost 20 years together, Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban's marriage ended, not with a big scandal, but quietly. Their story started like a fairy tale in 2005 with a magical meeting and a beautiful wedding. They faced problems together, supported each other through sad times, and built a family that looked perfect. But love stories don't always end the way they start. Living apart, Keith's awkward interviews, and Nicole's anniversary post just months before the divorce all showed two people moving in different directions. Keith never made a big public confession. Instead, his short answers and his final words that life is in session became his way of saying the truth. Without saying it directly, he confirmed the marriage had ended long before the divorce papers. Nicole fought to save their relationship until the end. For Keith, it was about accepting that love can sometimes fade. Their story reminds us that behind every glamorous event is a real human story, one with happiness, sadness, and choices. Nicole and Keith's time together may be over, but their 20-year relationship will always be remembered. What do you think? Was Keith just being honest, or is there more to the story? Let me know in the comments. And if you liked this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss the next one.